Vincent, ici, je crois que je vois son nom.
Ouais, la station qui appelle ce matin ici ce matin de Carteret, bonsoir.
Sailing into Le Havre at night is pretty straightforward, as it's well lit with buoys and beacons that stand out pretty well against the background domestic lights of the city. Once in the harbour, the harbour lights themselves, and of course your chart plotter, make it pretty easy to navigate round there. The reason I arrived so late was I'd been sitting in Saint-Vaast for nearly a week whilst gales roared up and down the English Channel, and the first opportunity I had when the gales eased meant a departure at 11 o'clock in the morning when the lock gates opened, 2 hours before high water St Vast. The lock gates open, so the earliest I could get out of there was 11 o'clock, and the passage to Le Havre is 50 odd miles. So clearly I was never in my wildest dreams going to make it in daylight hours, but I needed to get away from Saint-Vaast. I needed to get going. The situation was only going to get worse. Quite a few boats left with me, came out of Saint-Vaast with me, but they all gradually peeled off and went into other places on the way to Le Havre, so that they got in daylight hours. I'd been in Le Havre before. I'd been on my way to Cherbourg. I'd been in Le Havre only a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks before, so I knew the port, and I was pretty confident I could find my way around there. Obviously, it's nicer to do it in daylight, but yeah, it was absolutely fine. Le Havre is mainly, I think, used by UK boats in order to get into the French Canals system. It's a good place to take a breath, and it's a place to wait until the tide is right to get into the mouth of the River Seine at low water, or a couple of hours before low water, and go up the 60 miles to Rouen, and there are no stopping places on the way, so you have to do it as one hit. So that's a good reason for going to Le Havre, I think. When you get to Rouen, there's a marina there, and there's a boatyard with a travel lift and a crane attached to the travel lift, and they can take your mast down and put it on a lorry to go down to the Mediterranean, or help you mount it on your deck to go down with you all the way. Le Havre is probably a bit far to get to from the Solent or the south coast, from say Brighton or Newhaven or somewhere, in one hit. It's 70, 80, 90 miles. So what most boats do, I think, is they either go to Cherbourg, get into Cherbourg, pop around to Saint-Vaast, which is about 20 miles, 25 miles, and then from Saint-Vaast do the 50-mile crossing if the tides suit, so that they can leave at 7 or 8 in the morning rather than like I did at 11 o'clock in the morning. If the tides don't suit, it actually doesn't really matter, because there are a load of absolutely lovely little French ports all the way around that bay. Really pretty places to visit, fishing ports, really nice, interesting, very French places to go to in your boat, and there are half a dozen of them, no more than 15 miles apart from each other, so it's all a very pleasant way to spend a week or more doing that little passage until you get to Ouistreham. Ouistreham is the entrance to Caen, which is where the canal was, and you can go up that canal in your boat, and you can park up in a marina actually in the middle of Caen town, and you pass under one of the bridges which was greatly fought over, and famous British soldiers and also British actors took that bridge and defended it, so the Germans couldn't have it, and so there's a memorial of a tank there. When it lifts up for you to go underneath, and yeah, it's nice. And then from Ouistreham across to Le Havre is 17 miles. You go through the merchant ship parking area. The other way of getting to Le Havre from the UK is to go across the channel to Dieppe from Brighton or Eastbourne or New Haven, 50 or 60 miles, straight line into Dieppe, which is an all-weather port. You can get into there whatever happening, and it's an excellent marina, easy to enter port, terrible Wi-Fi, but lots of restaurants and bars in a very typically French town. In order to continue your passage, you come out of Dieppe, hang a left, go down past the nuclear power station, which has got some yellow buoys marked up around it. So go outside those, down to the headland and into Fécamp, which is just 30 miles away. In Fécamp, you don't have to visit the Benedictine monastery. You can spend a pleasant night in the marina, which has got even worse Wi-Fi, and so bad it almost doesn't exist. And then come out of Fécamp the next morning and hang a left again, down round the headland, Cap d'Antifer, past the big methane oil refinery type place which sticks out into the sea, and can be quite choppy, can be quite rough. It's in the same way as Dover can be or Brighton can be, because these are artificial man-made structures built out into the sea. The sea seems to object to it and creates a bit of a chop around them. And then on down into Le Havre, which is really a very simple, pleasant passage. There are some nice villages set into the cliffs on this passage. So I've always kept sort of quite inshore, simply because I think the scenery is nice. I would say going into Le Havre in daylight hours, there are various big ship channels, just like there is around, say, Portsmouth Harbour, and really you should stick just outside the channels and not encumber the way. The entrance into Le Havre is just like Portsmouth as well, in as much as on the left-hand side, on the port side, as you go in, there's a small ship's channel. You don't have to call port control. You just go in up the port side channel and get in there, and then you can take your fenders down and put your warps out and things. You are required the whole time you're in the vicinity of Le Havre to monitor VHF channel 12, which is their port control. But as I say, you don't have to call them. So you get in there, take your fenders down, put your fenders down, get your warps ready, and then head down to the breakwater wall, run along the side of the breakwater wall back in the direction you came in, hang a right at the end of it, and there you are in the marina. On the way down, you call VHF channel 9, Le Havre Marina, and they will almost certainly tell you to go to pontoon P, which is the first pontoon, and they will instruct you to park up on the town side normally, and you just take any vacant berth and park up on pontoon P. It's all very modern, it's all very new. Yes, you can plug into the electricity once you've tied up, but in fact it won't work until you've been to the marina office, which is a fair distance away. It's quite a walk down to that office, down their pontoons. It's interesting, visitors' berths always seem to be the furthest away from marina offices, but yeah, that's the way it is. Having gotten to the office and done the formalities, there isn't actually an awful lot around there. I mean, Le Havre is a big city, and I must confess I've never sort of found the main shopping centre or anything. And around the marina area, there isn't a sort of mass of cafes and bars and restaurants and things. It just isn't like that. There is a very good chandler's, a Castellage Diffusion, who also do repairs. The two guys who run it are expert riggers and mechanics, and I guess know a lot about boats. So if you need anything in that way, you come out of the marina office, cross straight over the road, and there's a road straight ahead of you at right angles to the big road that runs past the marina, and you walk up there for I don't know, 50, 60 meters, 70 meters, and there's a Castellage diffusion on the right hand side. Just before a Castellage diffusion on the left there's a road, and if you hang a left there, go up that road and walk for about 5 minutes, there's a Super U car park, Super U car park there is indeed, but there's also a supermarket there, which is good for victualling the boat. So that's there. The Havre Marina itself has also got a 4-ton crane or a 5-ton crane for taking masts down, and they're very happy to, do that with you. You arrange that in the office with them. There's also another crane in another basin. If you want to leave your boat for some period of time, some weeks, they also have another basin further into Le Havre harbour where there's a crane as well. I don't mean to be negative about the place. It's, clearly it's a very important, lovely town. It's just I can't find the bars and the restaurants and the interesting places to visit there. It's a city, really. It's a city, and that's probably what the problem is. I hope you found it a bit interesting, all this. If you have, I'd be grateful if you press the subscribe button, which means that you'll just get a notification when I release another video, and it helps me build my channel, and I'm grateful for that. And good sailing, fair winds, safe landfalls. Bye.